You're watching Wish TV. Now 24-hour News 8's Daybreak continues.
Moving on 6:09, the time. Dick Wolfsie has spent most of his career here at Wish TV finding unique people with unusual talents. This morning we take a look as he pays a visit to an old friend, and it's a safe bet you'll be amazed at what he does.
Good morning, everybody. Dick Wolfsie out here in New Palestine, and this is a show I did many years ago, but it's so interesting because you're about to meet one of the most really unique artists in the Midwest. Billy J. Espick is here. Good morning, sir. Nice to see you again.
Good morning,
Jack.
How you doing?
Time.
Yes, it has been.
I've said, as I just said on the air, you are one of the more unique artists in the country. What is it that you specialize in that there are so few people doing? What do you do?
I do freehand pinstriping. You know, custom pinstriping.
Well,
like
lots of people do that, right?
Well,
not as good as you, but you do something else.
Well, because I pinstripe and do from street rods to you know, exotic cars like BMWs and all that kind of stuff. I picked up on doing these antique safes years ago. Antique safes, because they were all pinstriped and they were basically custom painted 1860s, 1870s, 1890s, you know, on up. And they had all this just ferocious, cool artwork that was all freehand done by old sign painters and artists, you know, kind of like me. So I'm just kind of copying and trying to preserve some of this history that was
works of art originally.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I mean,
people
these things
use them as decorative, not just for functional, right?
Yeah, and in that period of time, you got to think back in the 1870s, 1880s. There was no automobiles. I mean, these safes were probably the most beautiful thing, other than furniture. The artwork on these things, and this is an original piece here. I mean, you got to think when these were in a house or in a business that these were a statement of wealth. You know, I mean, so they ordered them. I mean, if they went to a safe manufacturer, they said, how deluxe do you want these things painted? They didn't use the word custom back then, but the fine artwork on this and the gold leaf, and this is cool because this has a round portrait with like a Japanese fan, so this was probably an Oriental striper that did this. But it has a winter scene.
Let's do this. Let's do this. This is obviously, you're just beginning this. You're starting to trace it. We're going to go inside. You've got half a dozen or more safes. Some of them weigh 1,000 or more pounds.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Easily. And you're going to see an incredible transition that Billy J can make from this to when it's completed to look like it was as it was originally.
As it was originally, yes.
As it was originally. So you don't want to miss this. We'll be back in about a half hour.
All right, we'll check in with Dick Wolfsie in just a few moments, but first we want to get to Randy.
Good morning, everybody. Dick Wolfsie in New Pal, Indiana. That's what a safe, about 100, 150 years old looks like before it's restored by the man you're going to meet. Wait till you see what he can do with this. We'll be back.
Some people paint portraits, some paint houses, some paint cars. Dick Wolfsie found a man in New Palestine who paints safes. Take a look.
Back in New Pal here with Billy J. Espick. And Billy, in the first segment, for those who didn't join us then, I mentioned that you're a pinstriper. You do exotic cars, one of the best in the business, but an aspect of what you do is really unique, which is kind of redundant, but it really is, because you restore old safes.
Old antique safes, yeah.
And they can go back how many hundreds of years?
The oldest one I've done is about 1870.
So 150 years.
Yeah, 150 years old.
And as we said in the last segment, they were works of art. They were status.
Gosh, yeah. You got, like I said, the colors and the vibrance and the statement that they must have made when you walked into a place and it was like, wow, look at that safe, because they were vibrant with colors and pinstriping.
Even the inside.
Oh, the inside too, yeah.
So even if you didn't have your money in there, you would open it up like a piece of furniture.
Yes.
Okay, let's show this. You folks, you have to see this. This is really a beautiful safe, but that's the condition it was in, right? Tell us about it.
When I got this safe from the customer, actually the person that gave me the safe, it was painted with greenhouse paint. So
they painted over it.
They painted over it. You know, they get deteriorated and they get chipped up, so they just go, you know what? It got moved from its original place of business. So I take and remove the green paint off carefully and kind of dust it off, and all this magic stuff appeared, which is just ferocious artwork, as the safe door that we just looked at outside. And the same person striped this as did the other safe that we looked at the doors a minute ago. But as I uncover all this and I trace the patterns and I copy, take lots of photographs, document it, and then I recreate it.
Okay, let's walk over. You have to see this, folks. This is really, talk about a work of art. There it is.
Yeah, I mean,
there's Billy. There's what you've done. How many hours work in that, sir?
oh God.
Make a stab at it.
Oh, the entire safe, 50 hours, 60
Of your
hours
work
of my time.
to
Yeah,
redo
from
that.
sandblasting to doing the painting, the background paint, and then doing the artwork, which I did like in 3 sections. And I hate painting flowers, and I had to make myself.
Yeah.
I was going to hire somebody to paint the flowers, and I thought, okay, no, I got to paint the flowers. So.
And if it wasn't for people like you, we'll talk more about this in future segments, some of these would just be abandoned.
Yeah, they're just gone.
And they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. And this was a gigantic piece of American history.
Really?
In the United States, I mean, safe manufacturer was probably the largest manufacturer other than rail and because there were no automobiles. So the safe manufacturing, there was 80 safe manufacturers across the country that, because every business, everybody had safes. Anybody with wealth, anybody that had something, where there's a small safe for a small business to a larger safe for a larger business. So.
Okay, we've got in the other room about 6 or 8 gorgeous safes.
Yes.
And we're going to also show you a little bit of how you work on those safes.
Okay.
And we'll be back with Billy J in the next segment. Stay with us.
Dick Wolfsie has spent most of his career here in Wish TV, finding unique people with unusual talents. This morning, we take a look at who he pays a visit to. It's an old friend of his, and it's safe to bet you'll be amazed at what he does.
Good morning, everybody. Back in New Pal, Indiana, with my old buddy Billy J. Espick. And Billy, if you just joined us, has a unique craft. He restores back to the original view, the original look, old safes that go back 100, 150 years. And people have an emotional connection to these, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
This particular safe was this gentleman's great-grandfather's safe, and it kind of got passed down through the generations to his grandfather and then probably to his father. I don't know the complete history about it.
He remembers it.
But he remembers as a little boy sitting down and playing with this safe and opening it and looking at it and staring at it. And then I restore it. And he was...
Don't reveal it yet, yes.
Okay. But as I seen him when he first looked at the safe after it was finished, you could see the look on his face. It's like, oh my gosh, you know, he remembered as being a little boy.
That's the way it looked.
And that's the way it looked, yes.
That's the way it looked when you got it. And you have to do this real briefly for me. You have to find what it looked like originally, and in some cases make some guesses, right?
Yeah, some guesses. Yeah. This one was 90%. One thing I found out after I enlarged this picture was it had a design on the corners that I didn't see until I blew the picture up, and I was like, oh gosh, so then I have to put these designs on here. Right. But for the most part, if they've been painted over, this one was pretty much all there. So
Okay. 40, 50 hours work, whatever, lots of time.
Yeah, this is a good 30, 35 hours.
Reveal.
So this is what it looks like now. So it, you know, from past to present, it's recreated back with the little designs down the corner, which I'll finish this one up later. But this is 99%.
Can we see the inside?
Exact how it looked originally.
Is the inside usually in better shape?
I don't want to open it too far.
Is the inside usually in better, or not necessarily?
No, sometimes they were in mint shape. With this one was pretty good. I did a little bit of touch up.
Yeah.
But this panel here was just chipped up, so I touched it up and re-cleared it. So all this paint and lettering is original. And it's ambered from the old varnish that they varnish these things with. So I preserved, anytime I can preserve something original.
Yeah, absolutely. Like with a car.
Oh
like
my
with
gosh, yeah, because that's the patina, whatever they want to call it, of the safe. Yeah. The other was too far deteriorated, so you had to restore and redo the outside.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to have one more segment. We're going to do two things. We're going to see Billy J working on one of the safes. We're also going to answer the question, what do you do when the safe is locked and you can't get in it? Yeah. We'll fun when we come back. Stay with us.
All right, we'll check back in with Dick Wolfsie here in just a few moments. 8:06 the time, still at 39 degrees. Straight ahead on Daybreak, Dick Wolfsie introduces us to a man with a unique talent. Hear how this artist is preserving works of art dating back to the 1800s. Welcome back to Daybreak Sunday, 8:09 the time. Some people paint portraits, some paint houses, some paint cars. Dick Wolfsie found a man, a new pal, who paints safes. Take a look.
We are back here in New Pal, and you are watching Billy J. Espick. He is actually working on a safe. I believe it goes back this one about 125 years. He has completely restored it, and now you're seeing really one of the most unique craftsmen in the Midwest, because there's probably only a handful of people in the country that actually restore old safes. And we're going to get a shot of the front here. Kevin's going to get a shot of the front, and I want you to see what this looked like before Billy started working on it. And there's probably 30, 40, 50 hours of work in that. How's it going, Bill?
It's going good.
Yeah. Now, that little design you're putting on now, for those who just joined us, is probably you had some remnant of that originally, so you knew what to do, right?
Like I said, as I looked at the pictures, I kind of forgot that because I overlooked it because it was so deteriorated. And I went, oh my gosh, when I enlarged the picture, I seen a little design on a corner, so then I had to kind of draw the design out. I label it and mark it so I know what safe it goes to. And then I reinstall it onto the safe.
I'm going to let Kevin here is going to take some shot of some of your other safes. And Billy, while he's doing that, why don't you run over here on behind him, because I know you have a great story. All of these are safes that you've restored.
Yes.
All of them 100+ years old. Most
They're all in the 80s,
in the
the 90s, 1880s,
As
the
an
90s.
18,
Yeah,
right.
18. You got to throw the 18 in there. So.
Okay. Now this one here has a unique story behind it, right?
Yes, this one, an 85-year-old woman that was in tremendous health. She had just lost her husband, but he had kept my phone number from seeing a previous program with you years ago, and he was always going to have me, he was a car antique collector, and he was going to have me restore this safe, and it sat in the garage forever. Well, she had run across my phone number, and so she called me up. She said, would you like to buy the safe? And I said yes, and I made her an offer, and she said, that's great. So I restored the safe. This is 1865, 1867. Wow. I mean, the date was on the dial. And this was, McNeil Urban was one of the fanciest, most ornate safe companies there were, and went out of business in 1905. But McNeil Urban was really cool, so I recreated the portrait on the inside, on the outside.
Let's show the inside real quick.
And this inside, this is all original. The pinstriping and the original portrait was all on here, so I just had to refinish and clear over the top of it. So basically, from black to black, all this portrait with a little guy standing there looking at the river. You know, all the portraits back then was from the Ohio River, you know, Cincinnati area.
Sure.
You know, Daniel Boone days, as far as, you know, all the cabins and everything. But this is all original.
Works of art and really pieces of furniture.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was.
Now, I mentioned in the last segment that sometimes you get a safe that's locked.
Yes.
And you can't get in there. And that's a problem for you sometimes.
It is.
So I'm appealing to you out there, if you're a professional safe cracker, and you would like to anonymously email me your phone number, Billy would like to know about it, because that is something.
I lost my other guy. So.
He's gone. We need a professional safecracker to get into some of these safes. Bill, good to see you. Billy J. Aspic,
thank you very much.
Also one of the best pinstripers for exotic cars around, so that's Billy J.
Thank you.
Back to the studio.
All right, a little bit of history for this Sunday morning. Fantastic. Let's kick things over to Randy Ollis.